Gabriele Procida update. Will you CMS Summer League? Let's talk about it. Y'all think Piston Power had the interview? Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Now, for the most part, long story short, not gonna hold you. Detroit Pistons will have to buy out his contract in Europe. Now, I heard he was doing good, but then I heard he struggled. He was struggling over there when I looked. So I went to do a little bit of investigation, and he wasn't doing so hot over there. Remember, he was a second round pick last year, athletic guy, good shooter. But, you know, he showed up to the Summer League. There was some optimism about him playing last year, but it can't happen unless they buy out that contract where he buys himself out. Then once they buy out that contract, then, you know, they got to sign him to a contract. So you got to spend money on top of money and sign him to the contract or risk losing him. So with him being the second round pick, if you say, well, you know, he can play on the, you know, play on the Summer League and somebody else want to sign him and you don't sign him, then you lost him for nothing. You bought him out, then you lost him. And then there's questions about him being not really being ready. Now, we've seen other players over in Europe average 5 or 7 points a game, and they come in the league and they develop and they do very well. I remember hearing from one of the coaches or somebody over there saying if we had LeBron James, we would probably mess him up over here in Europe as well too. So at the end of the day, you kind of got to do some projection, you know. And I remember Ma Shepard, I forget what show he on, but a lot of the clips are sharing on the YouTube Shorts and TikTok, where he said he don't even really look at, you know, players until they enter the league, and then he kind of make his assessment because the league is totally different. I believe he felt that high school translated better than, you know, overseas in college. He said he could look at a high schooler and like know if he can play or not, or he gonna make it. But for the most part, I believe he said, maybe I got that mixed up, but for the most part, he believed that you know, he waits till he step in the league to make his assessment about a player, because the league is a totally different world. You know, you got a lot of free time. Just forget about on the stuff court in the league. You gotta, you know, especially if you're a foreigner like Procida. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, Procida. You got language barrier. You got everything new. You're doing all this traveling. You're playing 82 games a year. On top of all of that, you got to watch your own nutrition. You got to learn how to keep yourself in shape. They don't practice every day. You got a lot of free time. When people wonder why Zion's so heavy playing a heavy interval sport, is because they don't practice every day no more, man. That's another reason they get injured a lot. You know, they might do shoot around, they might do some walkthroughs, but they ain't even doing shoot around every day. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of look at all of that and say to yourself, like, it's 100% a different ball game out here, for sure. So it's a lot to overcome. And then you got a lot of young guys that you got on this roster. Unless you shave the fat off, and you know, if you can move a Bagley, you can move a Stewart, you can move a Hayes, and some of these other guys, you're getting rid of Diallo, getting rid of Corey Joseph, and sit them on the bench and have them play in the G League. When, guess what? If they say he about 2 or 3 years away, you can wait a year or two, you know, see where your roster at, then integrate him, or figure out if you want to relinquish his rights if he ain't doing, you know, what you think he need to be doing over there in Europe. But some of the highlights I seen, he seemed to be pretty promising as far as, you know, what he can do. My bad to come back and finish the Procida video. I had to cut it in half, so I don't really remember where I left off on it at. But like I said, they got a decision to make on Procida. I mean, high flying, athletic, can shoot. You want to develop him here, buy him out. You want to wait 2 or 3 seasons. Do you want to just say we want to relinquish the rights to him and throw away a second round pick, which isn't, that's like the equivalent of a 7th round pick in the NFL draft. So, I mean, in a lot of situations, you know, a lot of people like the promise. They like, you know, the potential ball handling, the 3-and-D guy, the 3 and slash, long arms, can shoot it. But, you know, we didn't see other guys get drafted in the NBA and other teams. They never, you know, really, you're talking about the Europeans. You see this with some players that they get drafted in the second round. You never see them play in the National Basketball Association. So, I mean, that's something to think about real quick. But, you know, you want somebody that could be able to shoot it. You want somebody that could be able to, you know, do the things he do potentially, but how much work he got to be done. He can't be too bad worse than Killian Hayes, because he already could shoot, and he a knockdown shooter, and he got hops. So probably talking about physical strength and conditioning. You probably talking about getting this ball handling up to skill, speed, and then, you know, the biggest hurdle was acclimating to the U.S. way of life, And then another big hurdle was acclimating to the NBA role type of life. So it's totally different in Europe. So, you know, he got that adjustment for European players, you know, in a lot of places around the world, a lot of times English is the second language. So they already be knowing some English here and there. So, but yeah, the way he stretched the floor, he could slash, he can cut, he can dunk. You know, you got to make a determining factor, break down his tape. Is Euro basketball what's best for him? So just wanted to spit on that real quick. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Don't like he gonna be here this summer for the summer league. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Peace.